Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I basically want to introduce OR. In the last video, I introduced and what AND is. It's essentially a way that every side of the condition, no matter how many conditions you have, if you have 30 conditions, they all have to evaluate to true. OR works slightly different. OR is the idea where if one is true but everything else is false, the whole underlying thing and the whole idea is that the whole thing will evaluate to true. For example, for OR, you could have this case where you have true and false, false and true, 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 or you can't have false and false, meaning that you must have at least one true, where and like you have everything has to be true. But for OR, if one thing is true but another thing is false, the idea is that the whole thing will evaluate to true. So let me go ahead and show you. So for example, we introduced this last time, which is Boolean yes, 10 plus 12 equals 23, 10, and then we have 10 plus 10 equals 21. Let me go ahead and comment out this, and I will go ahead and delete all this. OR is basically similar to AND in the way that it has two symbols. For OR, you have to have two vertical bars. Let me go ahead and find where the vertical bar is specifically. Right here. So basically, this is OR. OR says, does one of these conditions evaluate to true? Again, we talked about Booleans are true and false. So is any of these conditions evaluate to true? Well, I don't know. Obviously, if you guys took the moment to figure that out, 10 plus 12 equals 23, 10 plus 10 equals 21. Those are obviously false. So let's go ahead and compile it and see what it does. It evaluates to false. That's because we are in this case right here where we have an OR, but we have the idea where both sides of the condition evaluates to false, meaning that both these conditions are false. As a result, our final value, because we have an OR, will evaluate to false. If I had an AND, it would also evaluate to false. But for OR, it's a little bit different. If one of these conditions is true or both these conditions are true, we will get a true. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. So let me go ahead. 10 plus 12, what is that? 22. And now yes is going to be true and no is going to be false. We are in this case right here where we have true, false. Let me go ahead and compile it. So see, it's true. There's also the idea where we could be this case where the first condition is false. Let me go ahead and make this 25, but the next condition is true. So let me go ahead and make this 20. So that's this case right here where we have false, true. Let me go ahead and compile it, run it. There we go. We have true. So again, that's just OR. OR is basically one of these has to follow one of these conditions, meaning one thing has to be true. For example, I could have yes or no or no or no or no. Let me go ahead and show you what this does. Let's compile it, run it. This evaluates to true because at least one of these is true. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. Let me make this. Let me actually make all these yeses. Let's see what happens if I make all these yeses. Let me go ahead. So we see we have false because we have yes, yes, yes. That's because everything is false. For OR to work, one of these has to be true. And works differently. And is the opposite. So all these have to be true for the whole thing to be true. But if I make all this yes, but I had like one no in the middle, let's see what happens. We have true. That's because for OR, one thing has to be true. Like something in that condition, either this side, this side, this side, this side, or this side has to be true. But the other, everything else could be false if you want to. If you had and, that means every single condition has to be true. There's some applications for that. So yeah, that's just the idea of OR. I hope you learned what OR does. I apologize if this video is kind of long, but and OR are things that I see students like till this day. I feel like students don't really get it or understand it. But I hope that you are able to understand the difference, the main difference between and everything has to be true. But for OR, one thing has to be true, everything else could be false. You can have as many and or checks as you want. For example, I can mix this with ands and ors if I want to. You can go ahead and pause the video and see what this does. It says yes or yes or yes or no or yes or no or yes and yes, meaning this side is going to be either true or false. And again, because it's and, both these are going to be false. So this side of the or is going to be false. But yeah, that's just basically the idea of and or. I would go ahead and practice it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace.